Yeah. All right, let's get naked. Show off the goods. But this is probably the funnest city ride we've done, and I think the reason why is because you finally didn't follow every singular rule of traffic 100%.
Me?
Yes.
Is that how you think of me? As someone who does that?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, ask anyone. You, over there.
Oh, that's funny because I think of myself as very much kind of following
A
the
rebel.
norms. Like these people right now, just going for it, crossing the red light. I feel like if I see that going on, it's you who, when there's little children around, especially, you're like, no, we can't cross. We can't jaywalk in front of children.
Little children only. That's the only exception, and that was for you only to know, not to let everyone know. I'm not a goody two shoes. I'm a bad motherfucker. Please trust me. God damn it. She's taking a video of us. No, she might have. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it's a good ride.
With the
Best car anywhere.
Safa Brian Hot Wheels or whatever it's called. Super hot ride, right? I probably sent you a clip, and the first comment was, "Wow, that's so dangerous. Why are they riding so fast? They have a death wish."
Yes.
Yes, that's the first comment you said. Now, I was like, oh my god, my girlfriend is gonna kill me. I'm behaving in such a bad manner. That's cute.
It's cute.
That's cute.
It's nice to be cared about, worried about. What's new with you, Milos?
Whoa. Nothing. I feel like we met like yesterday with the last one.
Oh yeah, yeah. We did.
It was
Film
recent.
these pretty much back to back.
Yeah.
Record these.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I was like, I don't have anything to talk about anymore. That's it. Well,
Well, let's expand on that. Though.
I do have one thing to talk about. We did go in a little wedding.
We did little friend's wedding party.
Yeah. And it was, I'm sure you're going to talk about all the details, but what I want to talk about is that it's the first time ever I got asked to do a speech. Ever.
Surprising.
I don't have the kind of friends
Oh.
who get married. I mean,
That's like say you did.
I moved countries when everyone started getting married and all that.
I can relate with that.
It was a very honorable, humbling moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, on top of that, you did a really good job and made everyone laugh in 2 languages. So. Pretty
Seems so,
fantastic.
yeah. I had someone I barely talked to previously, and she came up to me and was like, "Hey, my husband who's Japanese." He was like, "Wow, bilingual? That's pretty good." And I was like, "Hold on, is your husband that girl over there that I kind of like, but I'm afraid to talk to?" Like, okay, still, thanks. Yeah, but it was good. Yeah.
And you did.
And they sent me a message. It was like, hey, it was really nice. This is kind of what we wanted. Good job. Thank you, and all that.
How do you feel about how you did it?
I'm just. This is me. This is me expressing my feelings.
Yeah.
It was funny because, like with everything else, you tend to worry. And then when we talked the day before, I was like, you still haven't written the speech?
Yeah, because I'm someone that if I was asked to create some kind of write out some kind of speech for a friend's wedding, I would do that like 3 months in advance, and then emotionally pour over it like twice a week until the date, and second guess all the decisions I made. So, and I'm not saying that there's value in that. I'm not defending.
I know
this.
it's
I'm
just your method. I know.
Just describing
Your
my method.
personality. It's true. I would think of it in that way as well. However, first of all, I can't until there's a deadline hitting my face. I can't start moving. And the other thing,
That's a personality type.
the friends that asked me like 2 weeks before the day. Which was
Even
perfect.
2 weeks, yeah. I mean, you incorporated so many jokes and puns and a lot of rhyming, which is really hard to do. And then what was most impressive is when you would go from doing a kind of rhymey pun joke in the English section, and then for 15 seconds you'd speak in Japanese and kind of do the same kind of wordplay and have the same quality effect to get everyone to laugh in a very, very different language. Impressive.
But man, that moment though,
Oh my God.
I almost stopped the thing and I was like, I had first of all, the whole time I was like, man, I don't know about this limerick kind of thing, but it kind of worked, I guess. It was cute. And Taylor was like, oh man, it was disgusting. I loved it. Ugh. It was like, the rhymes and everything, terrible. I love it. But the one of the lines was, I can't remember.
The lines?
Lines. One of the lines. It was in every relationship there are things that are mutual and things that divide. When there's a gap in communication, Brandy says "tomo" and he says "hai," and then Japanese part, and they are able to communicate without anger or pride. And then the Japanese part, and as their friend, I don't know what was the first part, and as their friend.
Better.
Oh yeah. For example, they're both against single-use plastic, and as their friend, watching their love grow is truly, and then I kind of guide the everyone there to say it with me, and then this motherfucker right here goes, classic.
Plastic, classic. I was like, what other word could? And then you went, ugh.
And I was like, oh man, I just wanted to stop there and be like, laugh with you and at you at the same time. It's like, what, man? I want to make so many jokes about this thing right now, but I have to do speech.
Plastic,
Class.
fantastic is more of a stretch than classic. In
Love
terms of
growing.
syllables.
How is it gonna be classic? A love grow. Like what? The Notebook. It's gonna be fantastic because you're their friend and you were thinking about composition rather than the feels. He's like filming me like right in my jaw. It's like, okay, everyone, let's go. It's classic. It's like, what did you just say?
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That's funny. And then immediately, as I said, and Don goes shaking his head.
Yeah, I watched it after the fact, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's. It wasn't the direction you were going, clearly, but
It's good though. It's good.
I was
It's
focused
good.
on the.
I know,
Putting a
I
good-
know, but we still have to make fun of it. That's just how things go. The venue was. Just tell us about the venue. It's great.
Venue was an old Sento, which is like a public bath, and it was really cool. I don't know what era that would have been built in. Maybe like 1960s, 70s.
Everything in the 60s to you.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Japan, it could have been built 5 years ago.
The locker fronts had that kind of very maybe like 1965,
Showa and
so,
everything, yeah.
very Showa era aesthetic, and unfortunately it must have closed at some point as a public bath, but then it was taken over by a brewery. And I'm assuming that the one side that we didn't get to see is the actual place where they do the
Where they
beer.
do, yeah.
And then the seating area is essentially the old empty tubs. And
Which is
so
very cool.
It was very, very cool.
And it wasn't as cold as you would think.
Yeah. Given that it's still March, I thought the tile surfaces would be
Yeah.
miserable to sit on, but
No.
actually it was quite pleasant.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just had a very comfortable feel, as you're supposed to feel comfortable in one of those rooms. Having said that, the only drawback was the echo in the room as we're playing music and I'm trying to talk to everybody in my terrible old man ears. I was just like, I'm sorry, what is anyone saying? Like, I couldn't
I
hear
think-
anybody. I had such a hard time with that.
I think that's a little bit
On me, probably.
of a you problem, maybe. Not like you, like it's you, but it's. I didn't have that problem at all, and I was like, "Where's the music so low volume or whatever?" And then you can say, "Oh, what is this echo? I can't hear anything." I said, "Oh, okay, right." I don't know.
It was a cool spot. Very cool. I certainly don't mean to say anything critical about it. That was the one thing, though, where I was like,
It's not critical. It's just because
Really
you have
struggling
that.
to following everyone's
Yeah,
conversations.
yeah. But you have that at work as well. It's not just that place.
That's true. That's true. It's gotten better recently. I feel like I've been able to probably guess what people are saying. Like, "Oh, I think you probably asked that," because that's usually the flow of this customer interaction. So
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I don't get that problem because
you just
I
anticipate.
just half-heart listen and then just, oh, you probably wanted to go in this direction.
Yeah.
Just
Well, and that's in that there's a confidence inherent in the ability to do that.
Yeah. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I listen. I'm a good listener. You hear me?
But I think it goes back to what you were saying about your ability to work under like a short time frame. Is that you have the confidence that you know that you're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other emotions going on other than just confidence. But yeah, I think you're a little more adaptable than I am. I mean, you've seen me when I'm like, oh, things didn't go exactly as planned. Now everything's falling apart.
Panic, yeah.
Yeah, like very, very mild panic. And I've been trying to figure out as an adult, and asking myself for years now, like where that comes from. Like, what was the impetus for that? What behaviors did I witness growing up, or like what relationships did I have that
Nice.
steered me in that direction? It's really hard to answer because
really adult.
it's almost like if I didn't actually have experiences that would have pushed me in another direction or just made me more adaptable in the situation.
Yeah.
If not having had those, it's hard to guess what wasn't those that then made me the person I am today, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Yeah. It's nice that you're exploring, self-exploring. Yeah, but I don't know. I think for me, it's probably some sort of ADHD or something along those lines. I'm on the spectrum. You. Every time we enter a building, you're like, man, if there's an earthquake right now,
I thought about what we were here.
there you go. I would never think of it.
Beings reinforced.
And that's the thing. I don't think about it because if things start going, I'd be like, okay, let me just use my kung fu that I watched in the movies and be like, okay, let's dip, dive, jive, and turn it all around. That's what it's all about.
But in that, do you mean to suggest that if you don't worry about that kind of stuff, if you don't think like, if I'm in this basement bar or whatever, wherever you are, and you're like, if there was a huge earthquake right now, would I survive? If you're not asking those questions, do you think of yourself as
Normal.
a calm person? Or what am I trying to ask here? Like,
I think we're gonna find out more about you than maybe this question.
you must have anxieties otherwise, right? Like, what are you anxious about? Because those are things that I'm not anxious about, but I definitely think about.
I'm anxious about talking to that woman over there that's looking my direction. That's the only thing that I'm thinking of.
I don't have that anxiety at all.
There you go.
Again, what makes us these people?
It's
What human
It's different though.
interactions?
When I'm like in a basement or whatever, I'm like, okay, let me pick a seat that can have a look on the front door. I know where the barman is.
Oh.
I know the characteristics. I know if they're wearing like swastikas on their clothes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Situational awareness, totally different thing because it's real and it's it's gonna happen now. Earthquake, man, leave that shit to the Mother Nature. You can't do nothing about it, even if it happens. What are you gonna do? The tsunami's coming. Okay, all right. Well, nice knowing it. That's what I don't get when people are like, "Oh, there was a little bit of a tremor. That was so scary." I understand it, but I don't get it. It's like, but we're on a self-rotating fire rock moving through space. I mean,
Multiple directions at
a
once.
little bit of the crust is gonna move, a little bit here and there,
For sure.
But if a bomb is falling, in my neighborhood, I'd be like, oh fuck, man.
That'd be pretty scary.
See what I mean?
Yeah. So this theoretical woman on the other side of the room who
Yeah.
you're too afraid to talk to.
Oh yeah, she was nice.
What's the danger there? What's the
Probably
hesitation?
the fear of rejection. I think is I'm not sure. I think I have a lot of all of probably traumas from my parents, like most of us, and I think now that I kind of have a little bit of knowledge to explore that, I think my mother is super people pleaser. I think I have a lot of that.
That's so often, man.
I think I have a little bit of that, and I think I'm still trying to pinpoint. But I think my dad has that ADHD paralysis because I remember during our childhood we were like, man, why doesn't he just do the thing? It will take. He knows how to do this stuff. It will take him 5 minutes. None of the three of us we cannot do that. We don't have the tools, the skills, whatever. For him, it would be like nothing. And then you just see him, just watching the game or whatever. And then 1 week later, it's like, man. I was like, and now I know the feeling of boredom and paralysis when you're like, it's going to take 5 minutes, but your brain just doesn't,
You're talking about like some kind of chore
doesn't
or
let you do.
repair
Yeah.
or something?
Like, change the light bulb or whatever, That kind of like stupid DIY kind of thing.
What is that because you were viewing it as a child or as someone who, I mean, honestly, as children, we have so little to do. And that's something I really never could have
I had a lot of
appreciated
things
in
to
the
do.
moment. No way. Not compared to your adulthood. There's no way that's true. Like, as a kid, you have so much free time and so few expectations being put on you. In general, that's maybe someone's experience is different, but I've got to believe that
Yeah, different
as an
time.
adult now, like, that paralysis comes to me sometimes and it's just like, yeah, there's that light bulb. That light bulb is like 18, number 18 on a list of other things that I'm also not doing. And so I'm like, if I concentrate on that light bulb, it's like,
yeah.
I already skipped this and this and this, and that was way more important, and that was irresponsible. Why didn't I do that thing? Why am I focusing on this? That
That's-
happens to me sometimes.
That sounds very much more neurotypical in my eyes. The priority order is irrelevant. There's no priority.
None?
No, I cannot explain it how, but it just doesn't exist.
Do you ever piss people off, though, when you then don't prioritize something that maybe affects them? Because for you, there's no priority list?
Mostly not because if it's for them, I do it.
You prioritize it.
If it's for me, then I just don't do it.
So where does that come from?
People pleasing, I guess.
Okay.
I guess, yeah. Now that you put it that way, I guess. Because when I try to do something for me, I'm like, man, it's like cooking food for yourself.
Oh, yeah. I can relate with this one. Big time.
You're like, this piece of bread will do. And then if you have someone coming over, like, okay, let's,
gotta go.
all right, the
I gotta marinate
entree,
this piece in
the,
advance,
the dessert,
Yeah.
like that, but for tasks. I was like, whatever, I just need some fuel to get the body going. Bread will do.
Yeah.
And then, okay, let's make this, okay, let's spice it up, let's throw some basil on top to make it look nice. But, there are a lot of times when I'm super late with the responding to emails. I do the work.
Specifically emails or just messages in general that require a response?
It's the same thing. But emails more.
It is, but I feel like emails are the most daunting for
Yeah.
me compared to like a Facebook message or something like that. And then I don't know why, because they could, if it's more of a long format response, it's the same content.
Speaking of shoulder period, Facebook?
I have two groups of people in my life
Kidding.
who still use it.
I'm kidding.
And I have
It's your
begged
family or whatever. And yeah,
family and one
I know.
couple that I know abroad, and I ask them every time, do you have any other apps? Any other apps that we can
No.
use? And they just,
We're gonna get into Meta when they open it up, but for now it's just Facebook.
I have begged and begged, please
No.
don't make me use this app anymore. I hate the Blue app.
I
Or
think
whatever it is, the messenger app.
ADHD in Japan would probably be even worse because the whole mental health situation is like still pretty much a taboo. I don't know if
Yeah.
I said this before, but when I was going to therapy, I went for like 8 or 9 times in total. Then she was like, "So why did you want to come here? What was the thing? Why did you want to come to therapy? And I said, we do it was right about the time of annual health checkup or whatever it's called. I was like, yeah, we do the once a year, right, annual thing. So I want to check up on my noggin as well. And she was like, wow, that's a pretty healthy way to think about it. In Japan, that's not the norm.
Yeah.
And that was like, I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or
You should definitely take it as a compliment.
at one hand, but the other, that should be like a normal thing for a person who's
Should
a therapist. That was the first red flag. Orange flag.
I think she was just comparing
Light
you
yellow.
to probably her typical patient.
Well, yeah.
But that's not a criticism of her. That's a criticism of the society.
No, yeah. But
Patient.
it kind of
Patient.
had like a little bit of a preemptive. It's probably going to be a mismatch if most of the clients are. Anyways.
I don't have any experience with visiting any kind of mental health specialist, but everyone that I know has said it is like matchmaking, basically. Like, pretty early on if you're not going to jive with
Yeah.
someone, and
Yeah.
you have to be honest with yourself. Like,
Yeah.
this person's probably very qualified to work with somebody, but probably
for
not me.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like Bumble. It's the same thing. Yeah, you match, you talk, and you're like, ugh.
But that's really it's really
Okay.
unfortunate, because it's almost like there should be like an advocacy
Next.
for people going through that situation of trying to find a good mental health professional, because those are people who are already emotionally vulnerable or maybe insecure or whatever. So they're the least likely to speak out for their own interest. often.
The biggest problem, the biggest hurdle for me getting to go to the thing is that you have to make a phone call first.
Yeah, that would
It
be
was
like
no other way.
like
Is you have to do a phone call.
number one on the list.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
yeah,
how I
I
would
was like,
approach it.
that's what I want to go to therapy. I can't do phone calls and emails. Phone calls I can do now, more or less, but
What if that had been your answer? Why
Yeah.
don't you come here? I can't do
I
emails
can't.
or phone calls.
I just don't like them. So that was the thing. I was like, okay. And then the thing is, I have an aversion to it, but when I do it, I go full on, right? So I call the thing. I even filmed it. I was like, this is gonna be the start of an adventure, or whatever. It's super great. I only
You're
saw
gonna make
like
content out of it?
2 seconds out of it. I was like, oh man, I don't want to look at it. But I called it, and I was like, okay, I'm doing this. We're doing the thing. And then the lady on the phone was like, hello.
More nervous than you.
Yeah. And that made me kind of go like, hold on, what's going on?
Oh boy.
It's not even more. It's like carefulness, being. It's like super like. Oh. It's like Jesus Christ, girl. I just want someone to, tell me all the things that I probably already know, but I want to admit it.
What other impressions do you have about mental health and mental health awareness resources in Japan?
I don't know. I want to say it's getting a little bit better, but I don't have the feeling that it's getting a little bit better. Well, I guess now with more.
Not at all. I feel like there's more of a conversation going on around it, where people, at least, even if they don't recognize it, they acknowledge that it exists. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't recognize the value in it, but maybe they're like, they've heard the words. It's the same thing with veganism. When I first moved here, you'd say vegan to people, and they'd be like, sorry, what? And now at least we're like, oh yeah, I know what that is. There was a
Even
thing
have
on
a
TV about
menu
that.
here,
Or I
right?
had a customer that came in recently with the same needs. I feel like there's that level of like social awareness around it now. Now, having said that, I don't think there's any deep understanding of what that actually entails in terms of like creating a more mentally healthy society, or what individuals need within that society.
I think it would be better for the next generation to cut everything that I'm thinking about right now and just say, because I think like Gen Z or whatever, they're like putting a lot more. They're more vocal about it. And they're done
Certainly,
with our bosses' generations of bosses.
I really hope that part's true. during the pandemic, there was that kind of weird sense of hope that like the whole system of how people work globally, but even here in Japan, where things tend to just change maybe at a slightly slower pace.
And wasn't it so disappointing when the ended and it's like, okay, nothing's changed, everyone back to the office.
It was kind of a bummer, yeah.
Oh, Japan.
Yeah.
You should try it. Go to therapy. Can put some drugs in.
Oh, okay. Are you going to gym after this?
Maybe.
Do you want to talk about gyms in Japan?
Gyms in
Gyms in Japan or gyms in general? I have zero experience.
There you
with
go. Then what do you want to what do you want to know? I have zero
Well-
experience in gyms abroad. So.
this. Okay, let me ask you this: what are you getting out of going to the gym? Because you started this gym membership maybe a year or two ago.
No. The other gym, yeah, but
The other
this
gym?
one is
This
from,
one.
from like July.
Okay, no, it's almost April.
What am I getting? Well, I think
what do you
that's
think
also it's going to be an ADHD episode. I don't know much about ADHD. I'm not diagnosed. It's just that I look at all of the things and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for my life too. Because being easily bored is one thing, and gym is not like, okay, let's learn every time a new thing. It's like doing bits and pieces, but it's the same exercise. So I compare it to martial arts, capoeira, when I used to do, and it's like always something kind of new. It's like same move, but you do it with a person. So it's always like playing chess. It's like the same kind of rules, the same the figures that you use, but you have the freedom to use it in a different way, different opening, different closure, different. You never know when you're gonna get surprised or when you're gonna forget something, and then you have to respond in that instant. Otherwise, you're gonna get hit in the head and die.
Potentially.
And then you go to the gym. It's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do 3 or 4 of those things that I usually do. Let's go, hour and a half, bam, done.
I don't know if I get the crossover between the two, but
It's much more, what's tancho, monotonous.
going to the gym is?
Yeah. But for both of those, what's mutual is, I would say, is the biggest problem, the biggest hurdle is getting out of the house.
Definitely a theme in this
Yeah,
episode.
getting out of the house, yeah. Writing the email and getting out of the house.
Yeah.
You write the email, I'm going to the gym to yourself. You open the email and you're like, hell yeah, I'm going to the gym. And then you go to the gym. And then everything else is after that is super amazing.
I was gonna say I've never heard you say a negative thing about going to the gym. Every
It's-
time you
it's
get out
super
of there,
great.
you're like on that runner's high. You're just
Yeah.
like,
That's what you get, yeah. In the morning, I was like, oh man, I quit today, the entire day. I quit it. I just opened my eyes, I quit. And then I put my things in, and it's like, okay, all right. And now, as soon as I go there, I'm gonna be like, fuck yeah, we did it, boys. Kind of gives you a boost. It's like you have not one day, but
like
1.5.
literally, yeah. Oh,
You're like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, I could go for a little bit longer now.
maybe I should join a gym. My fear of joining a gym, my concern is that I'm going to injure myself because I've gotten hurt working out before. And even just talking to you the other day, this guy played soccer for the first time in 200 years. And weeks later, you're like, oh, by the way, did I mention
Still hurts.
my leg hurts? And I'm like, you should see a doctor about that.
I think that
and
whatever
that
was
night I
broken
was there.
glued
People
up.
were like, why don't you join? Why don't you join? And I said, well, the obvious answer is that I'm old and that I'll get hurt. And then you, who's young and sprightly still, you went out there.
I get injured
You got,
because I'm reckless, but I'm aware of that. That's just the way I live. But gym, especially that gym over there, they teach you how to do it, and they're super into anatomy, so they know like what kind of joints to warm up before. you
even
do
the
it.
stuff that you have, like for example, this elbow is probably
Yeah.
forever fucked on me, and you have a hip issue.
No. Yeah.
So do you tell them that? And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, given that this is how you should.
Yeah. That's why I go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
If I had
health
somebody
of
holding my hand the whole time
hips
like that, I
increase.
think I would do the
Exactly.
same.
Yeah, because when I do a personal trainer once a month, I almost never use machines. I was like, yeah, okay, I see, yeah, okay, you're standing a little bit like this. It's because the balance on this side is not as good. Let's say when you kick a ball, right? Your right hand, you kick with the right leg. Yeah, okay. So have you noticed that your balance is much better on your left leg? Because when you kick, you stand in your left. The entire balance is in your left, and then you kick with the right. I'm like, motherfucker, that makes sense. Never thought of it. I always thought, right, my everything right is better balance, strength, whatever. I get to do things with my right because all the balance goes on the left. Right? Left. There you go. So yeah, for your like things, you do split the band on, and then you do the move, and then it's kind of flips back.
Well, I think I said to you, like, one of the ways that the early days of the pandemic, remember those?
Yep.
I was working out like 6 days a week at home.
Hold on.
And I actually was able to build up, for the first time in my life, a slight amount of muscle around this joint. And it didn't hurt while I was working out or after.
There you
And I
go.
thought, it's probably just a lack of body strength issue. So that
Could be.
once in a while I would pick up a couch with somebody and I'm like, oh shit, I just injured myself. So what I'm struggling with right now is the time. And again, it's all about that allocation of time. Like, this will be my gym hour, or in your case, you're doing like an hour and a half. Like, that's a lot of my day. If I
You
want to
think?
get it. I do think, and because even recently I've been doing like a 22
Whatever you
to
do.
25-minute yoga. That yoga is often something I have to do like after midnight, right before I go to bed, because I'm like, gosh, I did all those other things. I wanted to do yoga. I'm gonna fit it in right before I go to bed.
What other things are you doing?
This is the question.
We talked
When I
about
look at-
watching movies the other day, right? So we said kind
almost-
of the mutual conclusion is that we don't watch movies because it's an event, right? You're like, I have to spend like 2 hours into this event, and then me, that's the way I think, and then I see myself watching Twitch or YouTube for like 3 hours, and like, yeah, I'll just put it in the background and just stay fixed on the screen. It's like, okay, it's 3 hours could have been spent doing something else, or gym or whatever.
Yeah, maybe my time management, especially as somebody who lives alone at the moment, like that, you can really fall into a hole of like, even if it's just, I'm gonna start cleaning something in my kitchen, and then all of a sudden you realize like you're fixated on, this happens to me, and I don't know if this happens to you, but I'll start to like, well, if I'm already cleaning this, I've already got the dish rag, and I'll just start cleaning, and then all of a sudden like, I just spent like 30 minutes cleaning that thing. Or I take a shower, shave, get out, get dressed. No, that was another 40 minutes right there. It just, when all these things build up at the end of the day, and this is what I was saying kind of earlier about when you're a little kid, the day just drags and drags. And I just felt like I had so much free time, and now at the end of the day, if I have like 30 minutes where I don't have to do anything, and anything becomes possible, I'm like, wow, what am I going to do? And then there's almost like a slight paralysis with that, because it's like,
Yeah.
what do I do? Like, do I reward myself by sitting down and reading a book, which actually I've been doing a bit lately, and then, or do I like try and be productive with that thing, that 1, 2, or 3 at the top of my list of things to do? That's a challenge. It's a challenge. And the thing is, I think as a naive child, I suspected that, or I expected that as an adult, all of that stuff would come into focus, and you would know how to like plan out your day. And as I've gotten older, I realized, oh, it doesn't get any easier, because there's no right answer. There's no correct way to live. There's no correct way to do your day. And so sometimes, I'm like, if I did this, it'd be good for my physical health, or this would be good for my mental health, or this would be good for my just rest and heart health, or whatever, or this would be good for my productivity, or this would be good for my social life. And I have to prioritize those things too, and that's like a sub list underneath the main list. And yeah, there you go.
It's like theme of every episode. That's because of capitalism.
Yeah, it is.
Reward system and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Endless capitalism all along.
That's why I ignore it.
Yeah.
I don't clean. I don't do anything that will help my social life.
You're one of those lucky people that doesn't have anxiety when you are in a dirty environment. And not your house is not that dirty, by the way. But even if things get cluttered in your kitchen or whatever, it doesn't freak you out. Me, I get paralyzed by that, and I'm like, I can't go to bed because I have dishes in the sink.
It does freak me out, but I'm not paralyzed with that. I'm not as paralyzed with that as I'm with an email. But I do wake up and I'm like, ugh. It's like when you if you focus, you can see your nose, right? If you go like this, there you go.
Especially mine,
Yeah, it's the same with me with my like share of clothes. I don't notice it most of the time, but that little instant when I'm like, that's what's actually been bugging me, and I just was trying to not see it.
Okay. Have you been doing what is it,
Yeah,
downsizing, like minimalizing,
throwing everything out.
spring cleaning?
Yeah. Every week. Yeah, trying to do another batch.
It's something I want to do more of. And I don't have that much stuff, but I also don't like stuff.
You don't buy new stuff.
I don't buy new stuff. That's so true. But I still, things build up over time. What I've been thinking about right now is like clothes. Like, I look at my clothes, I'm like, whose are these? These don't look like the clothes I would wear.
Here you go. Let's go shop.
Yeah. That sweater you wore yesterday, that like peach pink.
Yeah.
Love that sweater.
There you go.
I want to buy that sweater.
Okay.
Is that Nike?
You can do it on the app now. Yeah.
Gotta spend the monies.
ABC Mart. Okay.
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like you're not super neurotypical. You're somewhere on the spectrum as well, my friend.
What if there's a neurotypical?
Oh, you're gonna do a test?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Let's do it. Let's do both.
Okay.
That's gonna be the closing of the show. We've been talking about that.
Neurotypical spectrum. See what comes up.
There should be like a special license for people using text to speech, or like
I would definitely be able to get that license.
oh please no. I want to be on that committee, and just you are going to be the only one who doesn't get to use it. Every time Don sends me a message, it's 3 or 4 consecutive messages, because the first one is text to speech, the second one is, oh look at that mistake I made, this text to speech is crap, and then the third one is the actual what he wanted to say, and then the fourth one is, haha, that was so fun.
That has happened dozens of times.
I have like a novel every time. I'm like, is the house on fire, or is it just Don sending me his communiques?
Read this: 159 and 160 children
Have a neurotypical disorder.
an NSD.
Yeah.
Look at that. Let's see.
Test.
Blah, 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 blah.
Test. Do like one of the stupidest, like one of the
Yes.
it's all ads. It's just
Yeah, well, yeah,
penis
it's just-
enlargement.
Penis enlargement and
How to get
this
that
person
3
made $1
inch.
billion by reading books every day, or like that one.
This is
Like what
this is
book
what you're,
did Steve
you're
Jobs
missing.
read?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Embrace
That's
autism.
autism.
Okay.
That's
Autism spectrum. Hey man.
I want to look at this though. This is how to take the test. Oh boy.
Oh, this is available in languages. Okay, question 1 of 35. There you go.
Oh, here
Let's
we go.
do this one.
Let's
All
do
right.
this one.
I don't have another phone. Okay. Do you want to go first?
I have difficulty staying focused for long periods of time.
You can control it if you're going to be doing the answers. So that's I don't like.
Yeah.
It's like the second question is going to be like, do you have difficulty sitting on the train in the same place? All right, let's do it. I have difficulty
Wait,
staying.
your answers or mine?
Whichever, but let's choose one.
Okay. I have difficulty staying focused for long periods of time. I'm gonna say, yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that a thumbs up then? Is that how this works?
That's yeah. So from 1 to 6, you see, neutral, and then
Wow, that is.
hold on. I think
What is all this?
go up. Next.
Oh, next.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay. My mind often wanders during conversations and/or lectures. I don't know.
Be,
I don't
be
like
truthful.
this. Often, no. So I'm going to go with a neutral on that.
Alright.
Let's see. Question 3. Others have told me that I tend to butt, B-U-T-T, not the right spelling, into conversation. Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Butt into conversations and activities.
Okay.
Into butt in. No. I've never been told that. Do you think
Don't
I do
I
that?
have something to tell you? No, others told me that I tend to butt into conversation.
Do I do that? I don't think I do.
No, I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
Yes, I do. As a child, my parents and or teachers were concerned regarding the pace at which I learned to speak.
More like the pace you
Speak?
eat your food.
Oh my god, yeah. Actually, I've been very conscious of my chewing recently.
Haven't noticed.
I know.
All right, go.
Now you will.
Regarding the pace at which I learned to
I
speak.
don't know the answer to this.
No, okay,
so-
no, disagree.
Or-
Whatever, yeah. People often expect me to know or understand things that seem strange or nonsensical to me. No, this is a heavy no. Probably.
I love that we're answering this together to get our collective score. Okay.
No, we're not. I'm just saying I have days where almost everything gets on my nerves.
You,
Okay.
yes. You, yes.
Me, yes. Okay. All right. No, let's do you. Let's do
Okay.
you.
Okay.
You said no. Okay. Next.
It almost never happens to me.
It is difficult for me to have to wait for my turn.
No. Nope.
When I was a little kiddo, I thought it said rap. I ran about in situations where it was inappropriate. I often ran about in situations.
situations where it was in. Oh, that's 100% me. I used to get yelled at all the time. I remember I had a teacher when I was a little kid. She would get so pissed because I would run way ahead of the group. She's like, "I'm gonna make you hold my hand and walk with me if you keep doing that."
You still do that.
I still do that. Yeah.
Okay.
No
Is that
growth.
what
growth.
that sentence means? Goddamn. I often list things such as my wallet, keys, phone, important documents, and the like.
I know that.
Okay? Listen, wallet, keys, phone should be separate from important documents, is what I'm saying.
I agree.
Alright.
I agree. Those are different kinds of things. Okay. As a child, I had difficulty learning how to button my clothes and/or tie my shoelaces. I don't think so. Next, it is hard for me to cope with my own errors and/or challenges that are unfamiliar to me. Challenges that are unfamiliar to me, I suck at that. Yeah. My own errors, I can cope with them, but I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. As a child, I had difficulty with activities that involved bodily coordination skills. No, not really.
That's a no for me too.
Yeah. I often jump from one activity to
Ooh.
the other.
If we say
Activity.
if
so
jump
hard to define.
means 3 months hyper focused on a new hobby and then abandoning that completely for 3 months and then finding a new thing 3 months later, then yes. But if it's jump, this is your answer, so don't listen to me. I'm just talking out loud, thinking out loud. But yeah, I guess this means like during the day, like, you know, if you're like fidgety or whatever. Like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, yeah, I also, now I have to clean my kitchen or whatever. I don't think this applies to us, yeah.
As a child, it was hard for me to perform balance-based activities such as gymnastics. Oh, this is not where I thought this was going. No, I was okay with that. I do have this one tragic memory, though, where I jumped off a balance beam because I was, my mother put me in gymnastics when I was a kid.
Wow.
And I jumped off the balance beam, and the guy was supposed to catch me because I'm like a little kid jumping like
Yeah.
twice my body height, and he didn't catch me. And I just remember standing up and crying, and I still have the image of like running towards my mom. So like, he didn't catch me. And then she yelled at me. Or
You were in gymnastics?
Oh yeah, I did gymnastics. I did modern dance for a little bit. I did indoor soccer, outdoor soccer.
Who is
flag
this
football,
person?
Baseball, basketball, archery, bowling. My parents, to their credit, put me in everything, every
Well done.
activity that they could think of. They were just like, go try it. So
Gymnastics.
I was really little, like
What
3
was
and a
the
half,
what was the best?
swimming and swimming
What was the most like impressive move that you were able to do in gymnastics?
No. I was like a little kid, like learning how to like land onto a springboard.
Alright.
Like
Now
way
you
too
lost me.
long. Okay.
Let's go. Question 15.
No, that's all.
soft.
You want to read 15?
Yeah. If you click next. Thank you. Others have been surprised or shocked because of my unpredictable actions. I conquered the world one day, and now I said, okay, now you're all working for me.
I
No.
think I'm pretty predictable.
No, I know where this is aiming at, and I don't think
You don't like
if
this
we
at
are
all.
on the spectrum, we are very soft on the spectrum. I'm a chicken tender. I tend to become overly excited.
No.
What do you think about me?
I get appropriately excited. You sober? I have gone to German beer festivals with you, and you are the center of attention in the best way possible. You are the guy like starting the conga line. It's like you.
It's
are
interesting. I don't think that's the alcohol. I think it's the atmosphere of feeling somewhere I belong with friends, with the help of alcohol. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It's your answer now.
I don't.
Okay.
I become appropriately whelmed.
It is difficult for me to have to remain in one place. That's what I said, like sitting in one place on the train.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty
This
bad at
is
that.
Interesting. Okay. Next.
I don't. I mean, you've seen me in my house when I have guests over. I cannot sit down. I'm constantly.
Alright. It is challenging for me to consistently stay on top of my obligations and or pay my bills in time.
I paid my bills on time.
No comment. Next.
No comment. All right.
I often fail to pay attention to details.
I'm gonna put neutral
No.
for this
Okay.
because I am, as we talked about, like
We had
my-
an episode today where you were totally oblivious in 2 times.
where sometimes the detail that is the answer I'm seeking is in front of me, but I'm overwhelmed by the things
Yeah.
that are overpowering me, and then I miss that obvious way to solve the problem.
I think that's typical though. I think like one of the
It's unfortunately typical, too.
the kind of ADHD or I don't know if it's ADHD or whatever, but it's like paying attention to like little details, move of the eyebrow and all that, and fasting or whatever. Okay, that's what I do.
Did I answer this? Yeah.
Well, last I found myself avoiding tasks and responsibilities that I do not immediately see how I could tackle.
I'm gonna go neutral in this as well. How about you?
No, I think
These are just vaguely,
like
written vaguely enough that they're hard to answer.
I think it's like the one of the previous ones. Like if it's email or finding myself to do tasks, right? I don't find the tasks hard. I just don't want to do them. All right.
Which is sort of a different thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put no for that.
Question 21 of 35. I often feel frustrated and or misunderstood.
I don't feel that way very often. How about you?
First 2 years at work, I wanted to get into a fight every day. But now I'm good. All right.
22.
Me still? Okay. As a child, I tended to get overly excited or become overly passive from exposure to bright lights, loud sounds, or other stimuli.
It's a hard no on that.
Oh.
How about you?
Oh, no. I'm analyzing your answers here, and this is the first hard no in 22 answers. So
I don't have
everything
any-
is kind of soft. That's interesting. Me, yes, I still have PTSD from my mother, bless her heart. Every time she would wake me up for school, she didn't want to go barge into my room. So she would open the room, open my door, turn the cupboard or whatever it's called in the hallway, which had a mirror on it. Turn it slightly towards the angle that would have the light, the yellow light from the hallway shine into my bed. So she wouldn't. That's cruel. Now that you think of it, but she was like, being kind of kind. It's like, okay, we will wake you up, progressive. Every time I see yellow light now, I'm like,
It's
three lights. There's 3 lights. That's a Picard reference. Okay. My thoughts and feelings often get in the way of my being successful at school or work.
No, that's, as far as I can tell, never gotten in my work. I'm gonna give that a hard no as well.
Wow.
How about you?
Well done. Yes.
Yes. You're a yes on
was
that?
Was that the imposter syndrome? I easily get sidetracked.
No. I don't I get sidetracked. Do you think I get sidetracked? Do you get sidetracked?
I don't think you get sidetracked. What do you get sidetracked by? No, I don't
Not very
think so.
much.
Me?
I get massive satisfaction out of actually finishing a task, so no, that probably doesn't happen.
Okay.
to me. How about you?
I would probably be neutral here. Not sure.
25, I'll read this one.
Alright.
I easily become verbally or physically aggressive when I'm angry. No.
Now you get agitated, but
I
not,
get agitated,
but not like
yeah.
aggressive. I don't think.
No.
Well, there you go. Now you're increasing those hard no's that I
No,
told
no,
you.
Yeah. Others have told me that I talk excessively. A couple of times. I remember I was talking to a friend in college, and I was just
College.
rambling about
How
something.
about now that you're like recent adult? Sorry. Finish this.
The friend, I was just babbling about something that I noticed, some observation, and he goes, "Do you sleep?" And I said, "Yeah, I sleep." And
I think
that
that
was
guy's
his way of
just a
saying,
douchebag.
no, he's a good guy, probably. All right. No, that doesn't really happen.
In
to me.
recent years, no.
People tell me all the time at work that I'm quiet. Okay. They're like, "Oh, you're so quiet and polite." I'm like, really?
Yeah, I
All
can
night
see
long.
that. I can see that.
27. I often do not follow through when someone tells me to do something in a specific way. No. No. How about you? You like to do your own thing.
Yeah,
So you
but
get
it's
that.
not that I don't follow through. I tell them immediately, your way is kind of bullshit, and I think we should do it this way. How do you feel about that? And then we kind of find a balance between that. So it's not following through. It's just being better than everyone else.
Yes, as you do. When I think a task is too hard or confusing for me to handle, I often give up. I mean, that's how, on the larger spectrum. I think that's like how I chose the
Coming to
higher
Japan.
education, well, the higher education path that I. No, that was one of the hardest things I ever did.
Kidding.
No, that doesn't usually happen to me. I'm not necessarily the most punctual, but I don't usually give up.
I think I get motivation from it.
Yeah, I
My
can see
whole
that.
my whole videography side business or whatever. It's like I never know how to do the things that they ask me to do, and they're like, okay, let's learn this motherfucker out.
I'll read this one too. I sometimes blurt out things in conversations without really knowing what I said or why. That does not happen to me. Do you ever do that?
No, I blurt out things that I know people will find on the edge or slightly offensive, but I know they're gonna find it slightly offensive.
Yeah, you seem like you have good control over what you say and don't say. And last one that I'll
Yeah.
read. I often forget to run errands or do chores. No, that essentially never happened.
All the damn time. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
I often fidget or scream in my seat. God damn it. Now that I read that out loud, I'm like, I'm gonna be editing this and I'm gonna be like the one fidgeting the whole time, and you're like solid as a rock. But I don't think of myself as I do. I'm just, conscientious of my muscles. I'm trying to massage my left butt now.
Okay.
Because that's where I have. Never mind. I don't think I do.
Do you bounce your leg? Because I do that a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's also something I inherited from my parents. Thanks.
Thanks. I'm gonna put no, but yeah.
We'll see. Roll the wad.
Yeah.
I often forget about deadlines or important dates. I wish I had a date these days. You know what I mean?
Such an important one. I never do this. I spend too much time thinking about those things. So
Forget may not be the perfect word to describe it, but I think a different date was the deadline, and then I don't check because it's in an email, and then I don't open the email. So I finished the job, one previous job, I finished it almost 2 weeks earlier because I thought it was December 27th, and it was January the 7th. And I sent it, and it was like, I don't have time to check this. I'm going to check it next week. I was like, what? You told me? And then I see the email. I was like, oh, I could have chilled today.
well,
All right.
could be worse.
Could be worse. Next.
Okay, skip that one. 33.
It takes a long time for me to calm down after experiencing intense emotions.
Did it take you a second to cool down after that social gathering wedding party we went to the other night?
No.
That was the largest group of people I'd been around that I knew. Almost everyone.
Those are intense emotions.
Not, I guess not emotions, but I mean some. It was very exciting, I guess, in the literal sense. And I remember being very tired when I got home. I was like, I am socially taxed. So,
But
anyways.
I don't think that's
Not
intense
intense
emotions. It's
emotions.
like a breakup or like a trauma or what.
I can calm down pretty quickly. Especially if I can refocus myself. You?
Depends. If it's with a person, I think about it a lot. And it takes a couple of sleep days off of me as well. Unfortunately.
I, on the other hand, have had interactions with people that didn't go the way I wanted to, and then 10 years later, I still think about them like, I wish I had said this, or I wish that.
There you go.
That, I don't know if that's the same thing.
I'm frequently unable to sit still. Don't look at me like that. I am trying to stay active. I proactively try to stand.
Oh, ooh, way to turn it around.
There you
and
go.
test,
There you go.
Okay. I actually kind of suck at sitting still, so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Then the last one. Even crucial appointments tend to slip my mind.
No, that's the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night. So, crucial appointments.
What would you define as a crucial appointment?
Taking off work holiday for a friend's wedding party, for example, and then 2 weeks before going, oh shit, wait, when are they getting married? Wait, what?
All right.
You might be a yes.
All right. I might be a yes for that. All right. Finish.
Let's see how.
Let's see who you are. Oh, that's nothing. What the hell is that? Your ADHD symptoms are low.
Yes.
What's high? Impulsivity. Yeah, I can see a little bit of
Hyperactivity.
Inattention. I don't know. What would that be? Inattention.
And forgetfulness is the lowest, which I'm very thankful for.
Hyperactivity.
The inflexibility part, I didn't realize was a component of that.
I don't even know what it. Oh, inflexibility.
Like,
Okay,
in a
I
little,
see.
like,
I see.
flexibility.
Impulsivity. I can see. Inattention. Don't really understand.
And emotional dysregulation. I don't know enough.
I think
about
that's
what that
that's
is.
what I have. That's kind of the no actually yeah. I think that's kind of the
Are you dysregulating right now?
no, that's not what it means. Dysregulation. I read somewhere. I was called out the other day with someone saying, "Are you like super good at not being affected with a serious situation regarding your emotions?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and they were like, "That's trauma. That's actually not a good thing. You're supposed to feel things." So I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." Open it up. Let me do take the test again. I'll just go. It'll take me 2 seconds, I promise. I want to speak. I hate this.
Really?
No. Don't get me wrong. I love the feeling of having a task done, but I get bored at that point. I'll do the whole. I'll make the house, and then you can paint it. You know what I mean? So by that time, by the point that it's already okay to live inside the house, I'm done. I want to start building the yard.
Okay.
I want to do with doing the little things.
So maybe you take more satisfaction in the doing than the completing or something?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What would that be? I have to pay attention to details.
No, I'd say you're pretty good at sorting out the details.
Yes. Others have been surprised or shocked because of my unpredictable actions. What kind?
I just think of the refrigerator incident.
I think that was unpredictable for you. For anyone on the Balkan area,
Which I'm not
You would-
from the Balkan.
carry your refrigerator on your own.
The abbreviated version of that story is, some years ago, Milos was moving into the city and he needed an appliance, a rather heavy one. He was getting it from a friend as they were moving to another area of the country. And so the timing worked out where he was going to get this free appliance. And it was near my house, actually, the pickup area. And then his new apartment was, let's say, 2K away. At least 2 train stops away.
Abbreviated
And,
version.
abbreviated version. And I get there and I was like, okay, so where's the cart? Where's the thing we're going to push it on? He's like, what cart?
I had my bicycle there. It's 2 of us, man. We're a strong
And
men.
so
Come on.
we're going to have to physically carry this thing multiple kilometers across the city, and I had at that time, back to the reoccurring injury. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And we ended up borrowing a cart from business and brought it back because that's the kind of thing that happens in Japan all the time. You can be like, "Hatsumimasen," and you can ask, and they'll give you the thing that you need because it's just easier for them to help you than it is to say no. So, yeah.
I often do not
Slightly
follow
surprising.
through when someone tells me to do something in a specific way. Should I put a yes in here? Or should I say, no, I argue that there's a better way? Alright, let's do
And
it.
you have such a specific way of doing things that make sense to you that usually works out. I think you're.
That actually confirms that I do not follow through. Okay, I often lose things such as my wallet keys,
You follow
phone.
through your way.
I don't lose my wallet, keys, phone. Important documents every single day. I lose them. I lose them. All right, let's do a soft yes. No. Oh man.
Oh,
Okay.
So you're forgetful and
Forgetfulness.
emotionally dysregulation.
There
Whatever
you
that
go.
is.
Yeah.
But you are like, otherwise, I don't know if a small quantity implies some kind of like high functionality, but I would say you're on. There you go. You were diagnosed.
Explanation. Oh, we had explanation of symptoms. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, but it's the same explanation.
Okay.
Inattention. Individuals on the ADHD spectrum often have difficulty sustaining their focus. They are often easily distracted or fail to pay sustained attention to minute details. As a consequence, they are easily bored.
It's pronounced minute.
No, it isn't. They dream a lot and may not seem to listen well when spoken to. Many also have trouble following instructions, and they may steer a task that requires a lot of focus. You had inattention
A little bit.
as well, yeah. Yeah, just a little bit more than me, I think. Forgetfulness. Some people with a tendency toward ADHD can be identified by their inclination toward forgetfulness regarding their daily activities. These people often forget to do their chores, run errands, return calls, or pay their bills on time. That's me. It is usually challenging for such individuals to master efficient time management, motherfucker. Finish schoolwork and or complete tasks in workplace in an orderly fashion. Shh. Okay, that's consistent. That's consistent with the information that I have. Hyperactivity. Hyperactivity pertains to excessive motor activity and difficulty in keeping still. Yeah. People behind the symptom are often on the go, as if driven by an inner motor. This is usually manifested as staffing, excessive fidgeting, extreme restlessness, and talkativeness. Those with this condition often wear other people out with their excessive need for activity. Developmental delays. Where was this? Oh, here. Oh,
I
both
didn't think
you
I
and me were
acknowledged that
zero,
one.
yeah.
We were probably both 0 with it.
Mild development delays often co-occur with ADHD, as children with these conditions, when compared to their peers, may have difficulty with speech, motor skills, processing sensory information, developing in interpersonal relationships. Research has also linked the delayed development of the frontal brain region's cortical surface with ADHD. Inflexibility, this was you. Some individuals on the ADHD spectrum have difficulty viewing occurrences from different perspectives or point of view. Mindset. Being inclined to sink back into established habits and patterns. These difficulties are often related to the broader problems these people face with regulating their responses, and this may develop into an inability to adapt fruitfully to novel situations.
Fruitfully to novel situations.
Were you the shark, or were you on the beach?
I don't understand.
Okay. Emotional dysregulation. It is often difficult for people on the ADHD spectrum to modulate their emotional responses and expressions. Such tendency may be manifested with excessive reactivity, low frustration thresholds, difficulty in calming down, and increased psychological distress. People behind the symptom often have frequent social conflicts and conduct problems in their conduct problems.
You don't have social
I
conflicts
don't.
or anything, but you do have low frustration thresholds. I think where you get like so annoyed by things with minimal exposure to those things. But I think you handle it well,
Yeah.
and you handle it proactively.
I
So-
regulate it. Okay. I think this is if we do relationships. I know what's going on, but I'm not good at regulating it.
See, this is so funny. I'm thinking about this in terms of my ability to do my job, and you're thinking about it in terms of your ability to be in a romantic relationship.
You always think about your job.
I think about work too much.
I think job is the least important thing in the world.
That's aspirational, but that's where I'm going. That's where I'm hoping to get to.
Impulsivity. Did you? Yeah, you had a little bit of this. Yeah, impulsivity. One symptom exhibited by many of the ADHD. I think the volume of the music is increased. I think we need to wrap it up. It tends toward hasty actions and spur of the moment decisions. People with high levels of impulsivity may also suddenly throw themselves at activities that carry a high potential for risk or harm. Dawn? Never.
Me.
Impulsivity may also be manifested as the inability to delay gratification and a tendency to be socially intrusive. No, this is not you. And then references. What is your IQ? You don't want to know, baby.
There it is. So we are.
Very slightly on the spectrum, but it was in impulsivity and hyperactivity. Was it for you?
Hyperactivity, I think, was higher than most of the others, yeah.
Impulsivity and hyperactivity, but like slightly though. And then for me, emotional dysregulation, like half, and then forgetfulness, almost like 80%.
Yeah.
80% is not bad. Well, there you go. That was a little bit of the very lackey view on ADHD. None of us know what it really means, and we are in no way or form eligible to talk about this topic. And ADHD
If you think you may be
in
on the spectrum,
Japan
please consult your
as
doctor.
well.
Medical professional.
It's just something that we see outside the cafe window and then try to make a talk about it. Take it as it is. What about you?
I think that's everything you just said, yeah.
There you go. Enjoy life. Work is not important. Work is the least
You were not your
important thing. Screw the job. Stick it to the man. Eat the rich. Enjoy life. It's gonna be done pretty soon. There you go. Go out and have fun. Tell that person you like them. And
Oh.
see you next
Advice
time.
to yourself there, I like that. All right.
Bye.